Today I'm going to share with you 3 of the most common mistakes coaches and consultants make that keep them stuck at low income levels. I've literally worked with hundreds of coaches and consultants, and what I will say is that if you can create strategies to make sure that these 3 mistakes don't happen, then you can literally grow your business to the level that you desire. So without further ado, let's dive in. So firstly, let's talk about the first mistake, which is niche clarity. In other words, getting clear on who your target market is. What often happens is that coaches and consultants start off, they might have their first client that's a previous employment engagement, and they start to deliver services for that particular client, what happens is they tend to layer more and more services on. So as an example, I spoke to a prospect recently that was offering to consult on grant opportunities within government. They were also doing data analytics, business analyst type work. They were doing a whole bunch of things because they had clients coming to them saying, can you do this? Now, what then happened is that they're now looking at their business model going, how can we make this scalable? Now, the key thing here is if you can just start with the target market in mind, think about what their key outcomes or problems that you're solving, then you can create the solutions around that. Not simply looking at what can you do, what services can you provide, and then going out providing them, because that's what means that you're going too wide and you become unscalable. Secondly, marketing and sales. Now, the thing that happens with marketing and sales is a coach or consultant will say, I need clients now. They'll turn on that funnel and they'll start to generate leads and sales out of that. They'll get to a point where they're delivering so much that they have to then pause this marketing and sales to then ultimately be able to deliver on their promises. That's not the way that we want to approach things. The reason being is at some point, your business is going to go backwards, or at the very least, it's going to plateau. We want to try to prevent that, and we always want to have a pipeline of opportunity that's available to you there so that ultimately you can continue to grow. There is going to be a point at which you need to make a decision of, do I hire someone? Do I hire someone to do something inside of my business, whether it's that to help with marketing, sales, or delivery? And it's at that point you need to make a hiring decision as opposed to pausing marketing and sales, because ultimately, again, at some point, that means you're going to go backwards if you decide to pause. The third most common mistake, and this mistake here is the most common one and most detrimental to your business, and that is not charging enough. What most coaches and consultants start off doing is they look at what were they employed per hour to do, and then charging a little bit more to do that as a consultant. Unfortunately, that doesn't help you to scale, because ultimately, the more you can charge, the more that you can grow, meaning that the more you can spend to acquire new customers because you are charging more. Additional to this, as a business, you've got expenses that you need to pay for before you take an income from that. So in other words, that might be subscriptions, that might be a cost of acquisition, that might be utilities, office bills, all that sort of thing. That now needs to be factored into this equation and looked at as part of your income before you actually derive an income from the business as well. So those are the 3 key mistakes, guys. Niche clarity, marketing and sales, consistency, and the ability to charge enough. Get those right, and then you can literally scale your business to the level that you want, and ultimately you can get to the income level that you want to be at as well. Talk to you soon.